What's going on, Birdland? Stephen Heckman here for the Baltimore Battery, coming to you with the Final Strike podcast. And a lot has happened since our last podcast a couple weeks ago. Orioles now have a new manager, Craig Albernez, which we want to welcome to the club. Kind of a good hire. Age-wise, 42 years old, so it puts him a little bit above a lot of the younger players on the team. Former AAA catcher for 5 years. Had a pretty good throwout rate as a catcher between Tampa Bay. He spent 4 years there and then a year with the San Francisco Giants in the minor leagues. Former AAA minor league manager of the year for single A with Tampa Bay. Former bullpen and catching coach with the San Francisco Giants, and former bench coach. So pretty good hire altogether. So think it's going to be a good pick for the Baltimore Orioles. Young enough that he can relate to a lot of the players who are coming up or are in the majors right now, and old enough that he has a little bit more of seniority that he can help guide and manage the players to new direction that they need to get to. A lot of his coaching hires have been people who are offensive-minded people, focused on batting, focused on offensive game plans, base running, smart moves, areas that we struggled in last year, especially with runners in scoring position, base stealing. Gunnar Henderson was their top base stealer last year with 30 stolen bases. Jackson Holliday was second with 17, but he was also thrown out 12 times in the process. So we've had some pretty good hires there. Our bullpen pitching coaches are going to stick around. Drew Frentz and his assistant, Buck Britton's going to stick around, which is also a good idea as well. Really, really good hire with Miguel Cairo, being a 17-year veteran as a player and also working as a pinch coach with a few teams. Infield instructor, he's going to be a benefit to the team and a good shoulder to bounce off of with Albernez. So very good hire there. I'm kind of excited to see what he brings to the team and to see what he can do that unfortunately Brandon Hyde was unable to finish. So kind of anxious to see what happens with the 2026 Orioles based off that situation. The bigger news is the trade that happened late last night between the Baltimore Orioles and the Los Angeles Angels, in which former top pitching prospect from the Baltimore Orioles, Grayson Rodriguez, was sent to the California Angels for former number 15 pick Taylor Ward, who had an exceptional season with 36 home runs and 103 RBIs last year for the Angels, playing predominantly left field. He's played 159 games last year, 156 games the year before. So there is consistency there. Did only bat .242 last year. Not horrible, not great. The big thing is he is a right-handed power bat. So we're hoping with Baltimore that he can do something there and, add some power in the lineup that is full of a lot of left-handed bats. 69 total base hits. He had 30, drawing a blank here, 31 doubles last year. Also 2 triples. So 52% of his hits went for extra bases last year. He's also only the third player outside of Mike Trout and Shohei Ohtani to hit over 100 RBIs for the Angels. So, good production bat. I know a lot of people are like, wait a minute, what about Dylan Beavers? I think it's going to be a benefit because it's going to keep Dylan Beavers in the rotation. You're going to have Colton Cowser probably stay in center field. Tyler O'Neill, which, I expected him to pick up his player option. I don't know how many people expected him not to, but most people expected him to pick up that player option for the simple fact that he didn't have a good year last year. and getting $16.5 million over the next 2 seasons, you'd be a fool not to pick it up. I mean, nobody was going to pay him that money if he was elected free agency, especially with the amount of injuries, time that he spent last year not playing. Also, he has a history of injuries, so don't know why he would not pick up that option. So I'm hoping that he comes back a little bit better shape for us, probably play a little bit more DH for us, which probably will get Dylan Beavers a little bit more time in the outfield. You'll probably have Taylor Ward play a lot more left field. He does have 13 assists over the last 2 years as well. Keep Colton Cowser in center field. Tyler O'Neill will probably get some time in the outfield as well. Then, of course, you have the whole situation with Kobe Mayo, Samuel Basallo, and Adley Rutschman. So, the other good thing is Ward can also play some first base, some third base. He's even caught. So, the guy has some versatility that is definitely a big plus, as our team is well known for having versatility within the players in the organization. So, big plus. 32 years of age. He's only 1 year. We have him for 1 year. So, risk reward possibility. And I know a lot of people, looking through social media, a lot of people are kind of upset at the whole trade thing. They're saying with the Orioles needing starting pitching, getting rid of starting pitching was not such a wise idea. But look at the big picture. Since 2023, Grayson Rodriguez has had 4 stints on the IL. Okay. He's not finished a season for us since 2023, and that's after he missed the beginning of 2023. He finished that season, then he came in 2024, spent some time on the IL, came back, then did not finish the 2024 season, did not pitch at all in 2025. He has not pitched since July of 2024, which is over 18 months. He has not taken a step on a mound. And he had the surgery this season, which was going to allow him to have a normal offseason for the first time. He's not even going to start throwing bullpens until January. He has had numerous lat strains. He had the elbow strain, which led to another lat strain. There is injury concerns. He had the lat strain in 2022, which prevented him from coming up and making his major league debut then. So there is a high injury concern. Mike Elias is not tied to Grayson Rodriguez in any way because he was there before Mike Elias got there, so it was an easier trade for him to make. Now, you look at Grayson Rodriguez's record across 43 games, he's 20-8. That's great. 4.11 ERA, though. So, ERA is a little high. Granted, he is winning. He has struck out, in 238 innings. He struck out 252 batters. In his 43 games, the Orioles have won a majority of those games that he started. So there is a little bit of upside to him. But if you can't keep the guy on the field, what are you going to do? He has the potential to be a frontline starter, yes. But once again, 4 IL stints in less than 3 years, and he missed an entire year on top of that. What are you going to do? He's 26 years old, and he's had more time on the IL than more time pitching. And the injury concerns started cropping up in 2022. Prior to that, he did not miss much time due to injury. And the concern is most of the injuries are in his lat area, and it's because of his windup. Now, coming into the 2025 season, he had adjusted his lineup to take some pressure off that lat area, which is what caused the elbow injury. Because of the elbow injury, once he was getting himself back into shape to pitch in 2025, he re-injured the lat, getting in that injury, getting in that area to get back to pitching in 2025 for the team, which is what caused the lat injury, which caused him to end up having surgery eventually. So, do you want to keep a pitcher around who has had numerous lat injuries and an elbow injury, which the elbow debridement surgery is a concern? Tommy John surgery is possibly around the corner for this guy, and that's another 1.5 to 2 years of baseball he's going to miss at 26 years of age. if that happens anytime soon, you're talking about him not pitching until he's 28, 29. The Angels are taking a gamble. Yes. Orioles are taking a gamble getting rid of the guy, but is it worth keeping the guy who might not pitch? And usually Mike Elias is right in these situations. Mike Elias traded away Dylan Bundy, who never amounted to anything. He traded away Kevin Gausman, who, unfortunately, Kevin Gausman didn't do anything with the Angels. He ended up going to the Braves, didn't do anything with the Braves. He ended up getting traded to the Reds, didn't do anything with the Reds. He had one extremely good season with the Giants, which he turned into a very lucrative contract with the Blue Jays. He's had good ERAs, do not get me wrong, but he's really not stood out and been that frontline starter that the Blue Jays were hoping for. So, yes, the Blue Jays went to the World Series this year, but it was more of an offensive showing of what they did. It really wasn't so much as what Kevin Gausman did to lead the way. So Mike Elias is definitely a good judge of talent. So I'm not overly concerned with the trade because Mike Elias is usually right most of the time in these situations. A lot of people were upset he didn't re-sign Anthony Santander, and then look what Anthony Santander did with the Blue Jays. Bat 176, didn't hit that many home runs, and then spent most of the season on the IL. Once again, he was right there. So he's not going to be right 100% of the time, but at an 80% of the time clip that he's correct, I will take that. Getting Taylor Ward for a year while we still get Enrique Bradfield ready for the majors, I'll take that too. If Taylor Ward ends up working out for us, it's great. You still have Tyler O'Neill for another 2 years. Dylan Beavers is just going to get better. Colton Cowser is just going to get better. It's a high risk, high reward. If Taylor Ward doesn't work out for us, we can always cut him. We can trade him. There's possibilities there that if it doesn't work in our favor, that we can get out of the situation without it really being a total loss for us. I wish Grayson Rodriguez all the luck in the world because I like the guy, but it is a business. It also opens up the possibility that we more than likely are going to go after at least 2 pitchers. And there's some pretty good pitchers that are available on the market. You go with the big names of Dylan Cease, Framber Valdez, Michael King. This is just to name a few. A lot of people are tying Marcus Giolito to us. I would not mind having Giolito. We still have the likes of Kyle Bradish, Trevor Rogers, Tyler Wells, Dean Kramer, Kate Povich. You're going to have Brandon Young returning. You're going to have, my mind's wandering here, but that's 6 pitchers right there. Now, my thought process is you're probably going to have Povich go in long relief, and I would love to see Tyler Wells work in relief in the back end of the bullpen. The possibility of him being a closer would definitely work and actually benefit us more so, where we could focus more on spending high dollars in the rotation and keep Tyler Wells with us as a closer for the year. Now that you have Kittredge back, which is great, we got him back for cash. And when you look at that, we basically traded Kittredge to get him back and got a top 30 prospect in return in the process. So we paid cash for a top 30 prospect and still kept Kittredge, is how that looks. So I don't know. Mike Elias is still doing some pretty good stuff as an acting GM. And I know a lot of people aren't fans of Mike Elias because he hasn't done what they've wanted him to do. But at the same time, he's made some pretty shrewd moves along the way. And not too upset about it. But the Grayson Rodriguez thing, I don't know. I can see both sides of the fence. It's hard to face the reality of keeping somebody who's been injured as much as he has over the last 3 years. And he missed the entire 2025 season, and it wasn't even for Tommy John surgery. The fact that his lat has been strained so much over the past 3 years is a high concern. And he's had surgery on it now. there's more to this situation, and I'm wondering what Elias knows that we don't know, and that's the one thing everybody has to pay attention to. Elias knows something we don't know. The Angels said they feel comfortable and confident in his arm that they felt okay with this trade. The fact that we traded Grayson Rodriguez, who's 26, straight up for Tyler Ward, that should tell everybody something. There is something more to this than what people are saying. And I see people saying that, we could have packaged him with prospects to get something better, but we needed a right-handed bat and outfield bat, presumably. I don't see the downfall of this trade. It's nothing but a possible upside. Like I said, if it doesn't work out in our favor, it's an easy way to get out of it. He is in an arbitration, so arbitration puts him just under $14 million. It's not a horrible amount of money, and it'd be an easy contract to get out of or trade. So you don't wait around. Like Mike Elias says, you've got to look at the fact that the guy hasn't pitched for 18 months. That's not somebody who's going to be ready by the time opening season comes around. It's somebody that you've got to bring back at a slow pace and probably miss the first month, maybe two of the season as you get him ramped back up. Or if you do start him at the beginning of the season, he's only going to be pitching 3, maybe 4 innings. And if people remember, Grayson Rodriguez last year struggled through the first inning or 2 before he calmed down. So you're talking about somebody who might blow through the amount of pitches that he's going to need to get through the first 3 or 4 innings because of what he went through. Is his speed going to be the same? I mean, these are factors that come into play here. Is his control going to be the same? He adjusted his windup once to accommodate from the strained lat. Now that he's had the surgery, has he adjusted his windup again? Has he gone back to his windup? Has the speed differential changed? Has his control changed? What has he done that's changed? And in 18 months of not picking up a baseball and pitching, what concern is there of him taking the mound again? Those are the factors that come into play, and those are the things that we have to think of when it comes to why this trade happened and was facilitated. Mike Elias is not a fool. I know he's not going out and signed everybody that we wanted to, and I know Rubenstein says that the money's there for him to make those signings, but at the same time, why are we going to offer 5- and 6-year contracts to players in their 30s? Now, with Michael King, Dylan Cease, Framber Valdez, we might see something like that this year just because Mike Elias is now basically at the point he's got to prove his worth. He's got to prove that this team is going to be what he said it was going to be when he first originally started. We've already got Paseo locked up for the next 8 years, 7 years. We've got to start signing other players to extensions. That is something that's been discussed. Even Rubenstein has said the same thing. Veteran players such as Tyler Ward is going to be a benefit to this team because he's been around for 7-8 years. He's going to be able to be a vocal person on this team to help this team have a older leader. So there is a benefit to having him on the team. There is a benefit to having a player who can play multiple positions on this team, right-handed power bat. Also kind of raises the question, what happens with Ryan Mountcastle? Is Ryan Mountcastle going to be a part of this team or not? Because now you have a logjam at first base between Kobe Mayo, Samuel Paseo, and Ryan Mountcastle. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with that, because Ryan Mountcastle now could possibly be packaged in a trade deal as well. He is a right-handed bat, though his power numbers were down last year. So his batting average was up, but his power numbers were down. And that's kind of a concern as well. Can't fully blame the wall because even away from the park, his power numbers were down. So there's a lot to process going forward, and we're only in November. We haven't even gotten to the winter meetings yet. So the hot stove is starting to pick up, but there's still a lot of things going on. And once we get to those general manager meetings or the winter meetings, watch a lot more start to happen. I mean, you think about it, we're less than 100 days until spring training starts. That's not that far away. So be on the lookout to see what happens next. But Tyler Ward, welcome to Baltimore. Craig Albernez, welcome to Baltimore. It's kind of exciting to see some things being done, especially some unexpected things being done. Let me know what you think. What are your thoughts on the Craig Albernez signing as the manager? What are your thoughts on the Grayson Rodriguez trade? Is it something you like? Is it something you don't like? What do you think about Tyler Ward coming to Baltimore? Also, what do you think about the rotation now? Do you see Kyle Bradish as the number one, or Tyler Rogers as the number one, or Trevor Rogers as the number one? That's another thing I've been seeing going around. Is Trevor Rogers or Kyle Bradish going to be the number one starter? Personally, I see Kyle Bradish more as the number one starter. He has more of the it factor when it comes to the number one starter than Trevor Rogers does. Trevor Rogers, I see as the number 2 or 3 starter, depending who we get in the offseason, whether that be through trade, whether that be through free agent signing. So let me know what you think. Definitely want you to chime in here. Also, don't forget to like, share, and follow. That's the way we get this to grow and get out to more people, and the way we get you involved. So don't forget to give us a follow. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to like and share with other people. Also, a big shout out to the Baltimore Battery, because without the Baltimore Battery, the Final Strike would not be here. So don't forget to check out the BaltimoreBattery.com for all the wonderful stories that you're going to find in the offseason, plus the series of Around the Nest has returned for its 4th year. Zach is writing a bunch of pieces about history for the Orioles throughout the year. Also be on the lookout for when the winter meetings come around, any trades or any signings that happen. We will have those updates as well. Thursday Thoughts coming out with Justin are going to be around. So numerous things to look forward in the offseason. We are still going to be active. You can find us on Twitter at the Be More Battery, or on TikTok at the Be More Battery, which that's going to be able to get active pretty soon again as well. Don't forget to follow me on TikTok and YouTube, as well as Twitter at SRJ Heckman. And you can find the Final Strike on X or Twitter, formerly of Twitter, at the Final Strike _. Also want to give a big shout out to Foxhole Coffee, one of our sponsors. Don't forget, you can check out the link in the profile on YouTube. If you're following on TikTok, you can check out the link in my solo link on my profile. Go there and it'll lead you directly there. Foxhole Coffee Concentrate does donate proceeds to help veterans dealing with PTSD and help train service dogs and support service dogs for members for PTSD. So it's a great cause. It's brought to you by the Hero Company. Make sure you get your coffee concentrate today. Remember, part of those proceeds go to helping veterans and animals, and helping both of them get together with members who have PTSD. Also want to give a big shout out to Scooters for Rent. Be on the lookout for them. They are reorganizing their name to Advanced Mobility Solutions. If you're down on the Eastern Shore, make sure, if you're looking for mobility scooters, handicap wheelchairs, manual, beach, or electric, or lift recliners, that you give Advanced Mobility Solutions a call. Tell them Stephen from the Final Strike sent you. 302-280-6203. Also, this time of year in Ocean City, they'll be at the Winter Fest of Lights, where you can come by and rent a scooter for $10. So don't forget to come on by, say hi. I will be there, and you can say hi to me as well. Until next time, Birdland, don't forget to like, share, and follow. Keep that beer cold. Peace out.